Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Stephanie White, and I am the CEO and Managing Director of Stephanie White Events. I am very excited to be a part of this event, and I want to thank Brittany for allowing me the opportunity to be a part of the Focus on Content Funnel Summit this week. So, as you all may know, the topic that I will be speaking on today is the pipeline artistry of event planning, how to go from booking clients to executing events. And with booking clients, what some people fail to realize that the beginning stages of booking clients begins with you, how you market yourself and how you market your business. So without further ado, let's get started. Let me share my screen with you all. I want you all to be able to follow along with the PowerPoint presentation that I prepared. All right. Okay, let's make this bigger so that everybody can see. And let's begin. All right, so a little bit of information about myself. As mentioned, I am the CEO and Managing Director of Stephanie White Events. I started my own event planning business in August of 2006. Prior to that, I was working for a catering company, and I realized my passion for planning events, and I said, why not start a business? So as you can see here, I'm busy, and a lot of what I've been doing is I started putting on my own shows back in 2012. I began advertising with a bridal magazine. I did that for 5 years. I also started putting on my own gala events, and I've done a few TV appearances. And aside from being an event planner, I also work in the finance arena, and I'm an author, and I am a blogger. So when Samantha spoke on yesterday about blogging, she was also speaking to me as well. So, all right, so let's kind of get into it. All right, so where I want to begin speaking with you all is about recognizing your clients. Who are your clients? As an entrepreneur and an event planner, my clients are corporations, government, small businesses, nonprofits, and individuals. And those people are who I marketed my services to. So think about that. When you are looking at booking clients, you need to know who your clients are. You need to know who your market is. Who is your audience? That's very important. All right, so how to get new clients? What separates you from your competition? As an entrepreneur and someone who is always marketing myself, always advertising for my business, it's important, I think, to have a strong presence on as many outlets as possible. And one of those outlets, or a number of those outlets, excuse me, are different social media outlets. We have your Facebook, your Instagram, your Twitter, your LinkedIn, your YouTube, and your blogging. All of those outlets, I think, they pretty much cater to different audience in a sense, because you have your video people and you have your writers and etc. All right, so I know business cards are a little from the Stone Age in a sense where people don't use business cards as much. They kind of just use electronic cards per se, or they use their cell phone, or they just pretty much just put the information in the person's phone when you meet them. But I think business cards still work. And so I definitely recommend getting a business card that stands out. You want something that pops, get some type of design so that when people see your card, they remember you. All right, so third item I want to talk to you about when it comes to separating yourself from your competition is you want to build an attractive and strong website for your business. And with doing that, you want to make sure that your website includes the product and service content, pretty much the services that you offer, the products that you offer, etc. I think it's important for people also to see what kind of work you've done. So like for myself as an event planner, I have several photos of events and clients' events that I have done over the years. Also, it's important to have some fees on there. Sometimes some people say having fees is not important, or excuse me, not important, but it's not information you want to just put on your site right now. But you would rather people just reach out to you to get more information about your fees. But I think that in some instances, it's okay to have some of the fees on your site. Now for myself, the fees that I do have on my site include my consultation fee. Now when it comes to my different packages, I just have them contact me directly. And the last thing I think that is really, really good to have on your website are reviews from your clients. People want to see how well you did a job, how well the clients liked you, because they want to understand and, you know, in a sense, try to figure out what kind of job you're going to do for them. So make sure you build a strong online presence through social medias. Make sure you have a business card that stands out, and make sure you build a strong website. All right, so just moving on. All right, so networking. Networking will be a big source of exposure for your business. I know with everything that's going on, we're not able to get out and do networking as we've done it in the past. We can't go to different business networking events. We can't go to the coffee shop and gather like we have in the past, or we can't go to concerts, etc. But those days of being able to do those things are coming back. So when you start to begin to get back out there to network, or when you're thinking about going to a networking event, please keep these things in mind. Be intentional about what it is that you want to do. Be intentional about your reasons for going to that event. Have a goal in mind. When I go into these doors or go through these doors and I start talking to people, what is it that I want to receive from this experience? Be open to the experience. A lot of times people shy away from meeting other people, but if you have a goal that you want to achieve, you need to be open to meeting people. You need to be open to people saying no. You need to be open to people saying yes, or people just saying not right now. And in the process of getting ready to attend a networking event or attend some type of social event, which will allow you to network with other people, ask yourself these questions prior to, like, who are you trying to meet? What kind of clients do you want to meet? And what is your sales pitch? When you meet these people, what do you plan to say to them? I recommend putting together a 30-second pitch message to include who you are, what you do, what you want, and what you offer. So I think that's important. I think networking is still relevant, and I still think networking is a big source of exposure for your business and can lead to new clients. All right, so a lot of people are visual, and so am I. So I thought it would be important to include some type of formula for booking clients. All right, so let's just quickly go over each of these formulas. All right, so introduction of self plus sales pitch equal conversation with new people. So think about that. When you are introducing yourself, and of course you pull in your sales pitch, that ultimately starts the process of engaging with people. And my next one, of course, is networking plus building relationships, because networking is a form of building relationships, equals new potential clients. So when you walk into the door of any type of sales event, networking event, or just anything where you're going to be meeting new people, in order to get them to trust you, you have to build a relationship with them. So that's why I added that formula, because I think that is very important. All right, so my next formula, pretty much after you've introduced yourself, you've pitched your sales pitch, you've networked, you've built relationships, you have a new client. Now we go into signing some type of contract and getting into some type of deposit, which equals your new client, because now it's official. You've done these steps, you've got the client, now it's time to put in some type of work for the client. So I wanted to go into talking about these different ways of booking new clients, but I wanted to, start at the beginning where I spoke about, it starts with you. It starts with marketing, it starts with putting yourself out there as a business owner, it starts with you selling to potential clients and then getting them to buy in. So I wanted to start with that just to kind of, for you to see the process and how it goes, that it starts with you. And then eventually as people begin to trust you and they see your work and everything, then it would flow into new clients for you. All right, so now what I want to do is kind of go into some scenarios where sometimes you meet new clients and they're not necessarily the right client for you. And so if that's the case, sometimes you have to go back to the drawing board, or you have to kind of go through some of those business cards or some of those phone numbers from people that you have not reached out to yet. All right, so how to vet clients. Not every client is the right client. And vetting clients, I think it's important that you ask the right questions to eliminate non-serious people. Because when you have a new client, you want clients that are serious. You want clients who are ready to get down and sign a contract and to work with you as a business owner. Going into an example for you all, when you begin to ask detailed questions for me as an event planner about their event, and they cannot provide those answers, sometimes that is a way for me to quickly find out how serious they are. When consulting with potential clients, it's important to know their budget, because sometimes people, they want your services, but they don't necessarily understand or can wrap their mind around what it will cost to have to work with you. Now, on the other day, and I believe it was Monday, Brittany was talking about in a video of hers, she was talking about how you don't want to give all of your information away. You want to be very cautious about information that you provide, because that information that you're giving away, of course, is money, in other words. So anyway, kind of going back to it. So just be mindful of those people who may come along and may want your services, but don't truly understand the cost of your services. It's pretty much just, knowing who you'll work with. And sometimes you have to part ways with these people who aren't generally serious about hiring you to do the work for them. All right, so let's just move on. And all right, so now I'm going to take you into examples, because now that we've talked about how to book the clients, now we're going to go more into the profession of being someone who plans events and how we generally go from, of course, booking the client, and now we're going to execute the actual event. So just so you know, throughout this process, we are still building relationships. We are still working on not only building relationships with our clients, but also building relationships with the other people that we're going to be working with throughout the event. So decision made, client is interested. Now let's get the contract. When your client signs a contract, they are signing a written agreement that is enforceable by law. As someone who has been writing clients for years now for my clients' events, I always want to make sure that my contracts include this information: my company name, and of course the owner's name, my company name, and me, the owner's name, and the client's name, the date of the event, the location, etc., the type of service, the type of event, location, as we mentioned, location of the services, the fees for the services, and any type of payment plan needs to be broken down on the contract as well. I also think it's important to include statements regarding any type of cancellation, any type of fees that will occur in the event that an event has to be canceled, or any type of just disclosure statements, I think, need to be included when you're doing any type of contract, not just a contract for an event planner or someone who is planning an event, because sometimes people don't call themselves event planners, they call themselves event coordinators. So, all right, let's move on. All right, so as someone who has been doing this since 2006, I think it's important for you to be organized and stay organized when planning events, because you can have multiple events, and if you're not organized, things can get real sticky real quickly. All right, so new client, what's next? Let's get organized. All right, so I think it's important for you to either use a 3-ring binder or a folder when organizing your client's event. You want a go-to place, one place where you have all the information for your client's event. So just to give you an example, this is a 3-ring binder that I use when, of course, doing my events. I don't know if you can see it, but it's large enough so that it can hold all the information for my client's event. So yes, getting one of these is perfect. Sometimes people want to use folders. Folders are great as well, but I tend to want to use a binder because I tend to use a lot of paper in regards to doing events for someone. And just to let you guys know, if you have any questions or anything, and my apologies for not addressing this earlier, please make sure that you put your questions and comments at the bottom of the video, and I'll be sure to answer any questions you all have. All right, so let's move on. All right, so one thing as an event planner, one thing that I like to do is I like to incorporate a cover sheet for my clients. The cover sheet includes the client's name, the contact information, and the type of event. It's like a one-stop go-to place where if I need to reach out to my client, I'm not filming through my cell phone. I'm not trying to figure out, okay, what event this is, especially if I'm managing multiple clients. So a contact sheet, which is something I create myself, is what I use. And then I have a contact information sheet that I use for my clients' events. So we have the cover sheet, and then we have the contact information sheet. This sheet literally has every vendor, every contact name, and every contact number of the vendors that we would use for the event. It's once again a one-stop go-to place in the event. I need to reach out to one of my vendors. I can find them on that sheet, and I don't have to go through my phone or fumble. It allows me to be more organized. All right, and these items that I'm talking about are universal in a sense where you can use them in any business setting or any entrepreneur business, etc. So it's just ways that I like to stay organized when managing my clients. All right, so let's continue. All right, so I use tabs in my binders, these same tabs right here, to keep myself organized for my clients' events. These tabs include information about my vendors, the venue, the client's appointments, event insurance, which I know this may be new to some people, but some venues do require you to have event insurance when you are putting on an event. Floor plans, which we have here, especially floor plans. This is what you'll get from a venue when doing an event. Contracts, of course, menus from the venue, itineraries, etc. These tabs help me stay organized, and it's just a way for me to be able to manage my clients and everything that's involved with my clients' events. All right, so let's get down to the business. Appointments. Let's see. Appointments with your vendors is another form of building relationships, people. So building relationships, as I mentioned, does not just start when you are booking your clients. It also kind of carries on when you start connecting your clients to different vendors. Generally, as an event planner, if my client has not already made contact with the vendors that they would like to work with, I myself, do the research and pull together the vendors, and I do the introduction for my clients in terms of them meeting the vendors. So it's mainly about, of course, building relationships, because in order for the vendor to work on my client's event, my client has to feel comfortable with this vendor and comfortable with the level of work that they do. So then they have to form some type of relationship. Okay, so just to let you know, a lot of what I do is a lot of client vendor relationship building when I'm, reaching out, connecting, referring, etc. All right, so let's move on to the next. All right, so now that you have booked your client, now that you are organized, now that you have booked your vendors, now it's time to build a draft of the event. So just to kind of go back and booking your vendors, you kind of know offhand what it is that you want to generally include in your event. So you can, yes, book your vendors without having a full draft of your event, because you know you're going to need a cake person, you know you're going to need a DJ or some type of entertainment, you know that you're going to need some type of florist, or you're going to need some type of decorator. So those things you know off the hand, and of course you're going to need a venue. So you know that you're going to need those things. All right, so getting back to how to build a draft for the event. In order to build a draft for your client's event or any type of event, you need to know the when, what, where, why, and how. When do you want to have the event? When do you want the dinner to be served? When do you want the entertainment to start? When do you want the gifts to be open? Depending on the type of event, when do you want the entertainment to the dancers or anything? You need to know the when. You need to know what it is that you want. Do you want lamb or beef? Where do you want to have the event? Do you want to have the event at a hall, or do you want to have the event at a hotel? Why do you want to do this? What's the purpose? Are you getting married? Is it the birthday party, baby shower, etc.? All right, so getting now into more information. In order for you to build the draft, you need to know every detail pretty much for the program and itinerary, the guest count, the menu, entertainment opportunity, etc. So I think it's important to have several appointments with your clients so that you can discuss the draft, what it is they want, what it is they don't want, how do they want the day to be from start to finish. So that's important. So let's keep going. All right, so now that you have the draft, we've done the draft, we've gone through the many steps of, okay, we figured out who's going to do what, who's going to do this, we've booked our vendors, we are now ready to get to the day of the event. As an event planner, this can be a little stressful. It's almost like on the day of, my adrenaline just starts balling and rushing because this is what I'm passionate about, and all of the months and weeks of hard work are finally coming to a place where they are going to manifest. They're going to, it's the day of the event. So now everything needs to be set up. So as an event planner and entrepreneur, one thing that I do is I do a lot of timelines. So number one tool when executing on the day of your client's event is draft out a timeline. I do a timeline for my vendors, which includes their arrival time and the time they leave the event. I do a timeline for the program of the event, which includes everything from when the guests walk in, to when dinner's served, to when dessert's served, to when the DJ leaves at the end of the night. And then I do a timeline that incorporates both, which is mainly just for me. So I'm not running around with all these sheets of paper, and I just have one go-to spot that has not only the timeline for the vendors, but also the timeline for the event. And so this form I would also give to my team that works with me on that day. All right, so step in tool number 2, stay on task. It is important that you keep track of time of your event, because when the event starts, everything moves very, very, very quickly. So it's important that you wear a watch. I don't have on one today, but it is definitely important that you wear a watch so that you can keep track of the time and you can keep track of everything that's going on. Because if you're not careful, time will get away from you, and before you know it, the event's ending and you have not checked off any of the items that needed to be done. All right, so tool number 3, make sure you have a clipboard. I am big on clipboards. When I do events, I have a clipboard, I have a pen, and I always have a walkie-talkie or my cell phone so that I can get in touch with my team, or I can get in touch with vendors if I cannot find them. Let's say we're about to do some type of money dance and we can't find the DJ. I need to call him. So I need to be able to reach him. So it's important to have a pen, a clipboard, a cell phone, and or a walkie-talkie so that you can communicate. All right, so tool number 4, on the day of your client's event, make sure you have all the contact information, your contracts for the venue, vendors, etc. So that's where that binder comes in handy. That binder comes with me on the day of my client's event. That contact sheet comes with me. Everything in that binder comes with me because I may need to refer back to the information if my vendors don't arrive on time. If I can't find, let's say the client ordered fish and they got chicken. So I need to be able to refer back to the contract that states what exactly the client ordered. So that's important. All right, so let's go here. Let's move on to tools to remember on the day of your client's event. You are the planner. You are the go-to person. You are the go-to person, you are the go-to person for the day of the event. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Everybody will come to you with questions, concerns, etc. On the day of the event, make sure that you have a contact person aside from the client. Sometimes clients don't necessarily want to be bothered on the day of. So example is the bride. It's her wedding day, so you don't want to go to the bride with issues. You want maybe to go to someone else. Maybe it's the grandmother, maybe it's the mother, maybe it's someone that can make a decision if you yourself can't make it. You want to have 1, 2 at the most people that you can kind of contact in the event there's an emergency. All right, so my next tool is learn to make executive decisions in regards to your clients, where your clients are concerned. Not every issue needs to be escalated to your client. So as I mentioned before, it's good to have a go-to person other than the client in the event that they don't want to be bothered on the day of. But as a planner and as someone that's over the event, you also need to tap into your authority and make executive decisions that you feel will overall be better for the event without having to bother the client or the other go-to person. Okay, so here's an important fact that I have over the years, I keep note of this. Take note of important things that you should not forget on the day of the client's event. Classic example, the bride's brother will do grace for dinner. That's not a detail that, may be written. It might be written in the program or it might be written somewhere else, but it's not one of those things where it's like, oh, the bride, we're cutting the cake, or, oh, we have a designer that needs to eat and they eat chicken and not fish. So make sure that you don't give them fish. So it's always any type of details that I need to remember, I keep in front of me and I make sure that I include them on major documents for the event, like the itinerary that you may also get from the venue. Next, at the end of the event, make sure that all personal items from the event that belong to your client gets returned to them. So as an example, as one of the events that I've done in the past, sometimes when you, as a planner, but other people have their hand in what you're doing, things get misplaced. So as a planner, it's my rule that I pick up all the personals, I make sure all the personals get back to the clients, because it would never be said that Stephanie did someone's event and they did not get all their personals returned to them because there was other people's hands in the pot or other people's hands in the situation. All right, so just a rule for myself and others if you want to take heed of that as well. All right, so just before I continue, I just want to let you know, once again, if you all have any questions, please make sure you put them in the comment section of the video and I'll be sure to get back with you. Next, make sure at the end of the night, all vendors have received their final payments. As an event planner, that's sometimes the duty that I have when it comes to ending the event. It doesn't happen always, but there are some cases where the client will give me envelopes to hand to vendors at the end of the night. And last but not least, please make sure you leave the venue like you found it. Sometimes depending on the venue, they will add extra fees or a cleanup fee if the place is not like you found it before the event began. All right, so let's keep moving on. A lot of great information for you all. Thank you so much once again for allowing me to be a part of this opportunity to speak with you all today. All right, tips to remember. In closing, the minute you introduce yourself to a potential client, that is the minute you begin selling yourself to them. So it's important to have a strong message about yourself, your services, and your business. And it's important to be confident in yourself as well, because the worst thing you can do is approach a potential client and not have the confidence to sell yourself to them. Next, make sure your message is a strong message and displays what you do as a company and what services you offer. That's important. You want people to see your message and know right away what it is that you do. All right, next, networking is important. Networking is an important part of building relationships with people and meeting new potential clients. Keep in mind that when you go to network, have a goal in mind, think about your 30-second sales pitch, and think about your reasons for being there. All right. Remember to build a strong, solid website for your business. Include content about your services, your fees, work you've done, and reviews from clients. All right. Always have your clients sign contracts with vendors. This is something that I didn't go much into detail about earlier, but I always tell my clients, regardless if it's a family member, friend, or whoever, always get them to sign a contract if they're doing something for you. All right, the next tip I want you to remember: when dealing with clients, be straightforward and serious about your fees. That's important. You don't want anyone to get confused, and you don't want to get confused yourself. This is my fee and this is what it is. Okay, let's see here. All right. Okay, I forgot one. I'm sorry. When working with clients, or pretty much working with anyone, when you go back and forth with a business, a vendor, a client, whatever, make sure you put everything in writing. You want to have something that you can go back to. You want to have some type of paper trail. And last but not least, for a complete assessment of how well your clients felt you executed their event, or how well they feel like you did as a planner, as a realtor, as a, let's see, DJ, let me just keep going, as a, just whatever it is your profession is, just make sure you do some type of evaluation form so that you have a way of measuring how well you did, what you need to change, and what you need to keep the same. So with that being said, that's pretty much what I have for you all today. I hope that you've learned some information about how to book your clients and how to execute events. And I hope that I was able to help you in some way. And once again, if you have any questions or comments, please put them in the comment section of the video. And I thank you for having me. And once again, my name is Stephanie White, and I look forward to speaking with you all in the future. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.